Welcome to today's episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Here's the question of the day. Why am I not seeing results in my technical progress consistently? This is a really good question and something that I very often get asked by intermediate and advanced players. And there are several things you have to keep in mind before we actually start answering the question and going into specifics. The first one being, are you sure you're not seeing progress? So even though I'm not going to worry about this specific part of the question in this episode, just make sure that you're keeping a good tracking, you have good tracking mechanisms and you're keeping a good log of what you're playing and to see if you're actually having progress or not. I have had several hundred cases where people thought they were making no progress, and actually the problem was not their lack of progress, but their lack of consistent tracking, of not having metrics to track this progress. We'll have a different video about this subject very soon. So let's suppose that you're actually not seeing consistent progress. Why can this be the case? In most cases, it is a difficult thing to understand and to accept because of the mentality that we have. We keep seeing things as linear and progress as linear, while actually it is not. Our minds think in a linear fashion, so we believe that our body works the same way. Now, technique has to do with the limitation of your body, the limitation of the specific point. If we choose a very simple thing like speed, if your limitation is at 100 beats per minute, somebody else's limitation might be at 150 at the specific time, somebody else's might be at 250. So technique has to do with the limitations of the body. Now, as practicing guitar players, we tend to think that progress should be consistent all the time, while actually this is not the way it works. So what is the way it actually works? Well, it works a little bit like that. It is not a slope, it is like little steps that are uneven between each other. So, if you're talking about a month of practicing, for 4 days you might make no progress. Then one day you'll make a little progress. Then for 1 week, there's absolutely no progress. Then suddenly, there's a lot of progress in 1 day. Then for another 5 or 6 days, might be no progress or even a little bit of a regression in your playing ability. Then you might have a little bit of progress the next day. Now, if you take the month and you take the whole progress and you divide it by 30, it will actually give you a slope at the speed that you are developing. But, and this is the important thing, this is not a representation of objective reality. This is a mental model that makes easier for you and me to understand your progress. The actual progress is a series of plateaus and growth spurts. So what happens with the vast majority of players is that they just don't let the process run its course. It's pretty much the same as trying to boil an egg and then stopping the boiling after 30 seconds because it's not boiling fast enough from what you had in mind. No, you have to let it go for the full way and then it's going to be boiled. If you're following a program, a study program, you have following some exercise and it's not giving you in a couple of days the result that you expected, maybe it's too soon. You have to give it more time. However, as I mentioned earlier, most people would change the process for emotional reasons because they feel it's not working and they will do it way too soon. Whether we like it or not, we have to invest some time in this process and let it run its course. And then you can actually make an informed decision on whether it's working or not. Unfortunately, as has been very well described in The Matrix, the movie, the problem is choice. The guitar player, the practicing guitar player, because he's very emotionally involved in this process and he wants, oh, I want to develop better and this is not working, that is not working, it's not working fast enough. What he does is he makes the choice to change the program just because arbitrarily he feels it's not working. So it's an emotional decision. And these kind of decisions are very, very difficult to guard against. Actually, for the majority of people, it's almost impossible to guard against that. So what can you do? As I have very often said in this series, the answer is coaching. If you have a trained coach and then he is monitoring everything for you and he is keeping the metrics, he will tell you what you need to do and you will be almost immune from these emotional decisions that will derail your progress. So the best idea, the best way to not have this problem is to actually have coaching with a professional coach. So the best way to not have this problem is to actually have consistently coaching sessions with a professional guitar coach. So I hope this helps to clarify this very important issue. Keep those questions coming. I will get around to answering all of them, promise. And I'll see you on the next episode of Ask the Guitar Coach.